Hello, welcome to what I believe is our last segment of the day. I'm so excited to be present as a part of this. This is the conclusion to what happened this last weekend with the Tea Time Animation 48-hour Animation Jam 2. Our contestants, we had over 70 teams register for the competition, and we received almost 40 entries in the end. And our contestants had 48 hours to animate an idol and I can't even remember the list right now.
It was a walk cycle, run cycle, attack. Is this working? Oh, now it's
There you
on. Great. Yeah, it was a run cycle, walk cycle, attack animation, and death animation. And then, yeah, I think.
And then an optional bonus animation. So we might get some fun entries in there. I am a little bit out of the loop because I am judging this. So I'm totally blind to what's been happening. I have two other amazing judges who are going to be up here with me. But first, I want to explain who's up here with me right now. Tea Time Animation is an organization for students that was founded on the idea that students need to have a better grip on their not a better grip on their education, but there's a career arc to your education and understanding what it takes to make that leap between student and professional, how to have a successful student career, and ultimately how do you be ready to get a job when you graduate. And that's what Tea Time's about helping. And this is the staff members from Tea Time San Francisco. Let's start here with the introductions.
Yeah, I'm Fernando Penefel. I've been a Tea Time staff for probably the past 2 years now. And yeah, I'm a 3D character animation student at the Academy of Art University.
Hi, I'm Cara Martinez. I've been a Tea Time staff member for a year, and I'm a visual development major at the Academy of Art University.
Yeah, I'm Romualdo Moral. I'm being staff of the time for almost a year and a half now. And I am 3D character animator at Academy of Art University.
Hi, my name is Ricola. It sounds the same with the cough drop candy, but it spells different. It's RECOLA. I had a 2D bachelor degree, and now I'm in Academy of Art University as a 3D modeler major. Yeah.
They showed up here a couple hours ago, and they have been whittling down our entries to the top 10 for the judges to go through, sitting in this booth and tirelessly making sure that we knew what we were going to be judging tonight. So can I please hear an amazing round of applause for Tea Time Animation? And so real quick, I just want to know, what's your favorite part about being a Tea Time leader?
Yeah, I think for me, it's being able to, connect our community together, especially at the school. Sometimes it's a little hard to kind of step out of your comfort zone and just meet other people, especially within your own, your own focus and your own major. So we like being able to have the spot for people to stop by, relax, and then share some cool things that happened during the week, and then share some work and give thoughtful critique. And yeah, I think it's kind of just the overall scope of it for me.
Yeah, for me, it's a really, really great opportunity to help each other to grow up in this industry. And this is so hard learn, and we can help each other. And this is so important. Have all this networking and giving critique, receive critiques. This is so important. So this is one of the best part of me.
Wonderful. So speaking of building a network and a community, we are so appreciative that you guys are here. I just found out that one of last year's winners from Tea Time Animation Jam 2018 is now working at Studio Gobo. They started yesterday, and it was because they were noticed in Tea Time Animation Jam last year. So anything can happen, and we want to show our appreciation. Where can people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram. It's at Nando Penefil. It's NandoPenafiel. Yeah, feel free to shoot any questions if you're a student and need any sort of advice. I'm coming up within my last year here, so I feel like I kind of know the ins and outs, especially when it comes to art school. So yeah, feel free to shoot any questions.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cara Jaclyn, JACLYNM. And same, shoot me any questions, especially for the VizDev MFA program. I'm free.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram too, Romulo Amaral, or my website, romualdoamaral.com. That feel free to give any question about how to start in this industry. I have the opportunity to not be just be animator, but technical animator, and also direct my short movie, being my thesis project. So I can support anyone that wanna start.
You can just search my name on Google, and my website will be there as long as you type correct my name, like Recola. Yeah, and you can find my website on there, and you can ask me anything about 2D animation or 3D modeling stuff. Yes.
Tea Time Animation, thank you so much for being with us today. Everybody, one more time for Tea Time. And now I have the pleasure, thank you, of introducing our judges for the Tea Time Animation Jam. We are about to go through these entries. May I please have the incredible Jay Hosfeld and Bruno Velasquez. All right, here you go. This is
Hello, hello.
you. And we're going to kind of scoot in. We're going to get a little close and cozy on this side of the table. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we have an incredible amount of swag surrounding us. This is the prizes for this year's Animation Jam, so generously donated from all of these wonderful attendees. I'm going to start pulling up entries. But while I do that, let's start with Jay on my right. Could you give us a bit about yourself and your history and what you're bringing to the judging table?
Okay, my name is Jay Hosfeld. I'm a lead animator at Epic Games. I've been at Epic for 15 years now, and I've led a team of animators there for the past 13 or so years. So I'm just going to do here what I try to do at work, judge animation.
And my name is Bruno Velasquez. I'm the animation director at Sony Santa Monica. I've been in the studio for 13 years, since 2006. My first project was God of War 2. And yeah, I'm just hoping to see some really awesome animation and have fun with you guys looking at cool stuff and choosing our favorite. Excited.
Fantastic. Oh, I turned my mic off. Fantastic. So, this year, our theme for the Animation Jam is duality. Our Tea Time staff went through and they were judging everything under a certain amount of parameters, and I want you guys to keep this in your brains as well. Technical skill, obviously. Interpretation of the theme, duality. We want to make sure that that's being read in these submissions. Creativity, how unique is this submission? And difficulty as well, because some people might have bitten off more than others, and we want to make sure that that is all accounted for. And honestly, your gut feeling, whatever you think is badass, whatever you think is awesome, shout it out. And we're going to kick it off. So, before we begin, let's take a look at our team information. We are about to look at Team AQ Team, AQ Team. The description is that a little girl has an inner demon who hates butterflies more than anything. Let's take a look.
I like it already.
It looks like an idle animation.
Oh, it's that darn butterfly again.
Whoa, okay.
It's a little brutal.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh. The irony.
Yes. Oh,
This is the bonus.
the plot thickens.
All right.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Holy moly. So, initial reactions.
First of all, the character is so cute. It's great. I just love the changes in personality and like kind of like little story that's being delivered throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of plussing the gag each time, because that could get old, but they managed to keep zigzagging the conflict with that butterfly. Is great.
Yeah, I gotta say, on a very personal and very weird note, I heavily identify with this. I had a dream when I was young that a butterfly bit me and I died. And then I thought it was true that butterflies are poisonous, and I'm still scared of them to this day. So I feel like it's really connecting with me as the audience. Yes. But the thing I love is how impactful and like smooth these sort of big poppy moments, which could use like a little bit more smearing or generous transitional moments. But the attack that comes up here, I think, is super, super smooth and impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you where everything else is so smooth that those changes, the rapid changes, like were a little bit abrupt. But I think overall, like this, like her fighting with the wings looks great.
Yeah, everything looks done. That part is, if you're going to go back to this for a little longer time, that's the part to fix up, is just the pose changes.
Yeah. So if you were looking at something like this and you were going to tackle this animation, what would you do to sort of soften these moments here?
I would probably ease into that big, like maybe give a slight shiver rather than go into that big one. And also, I think just the posing when she first kind of leans down, it's hard because the head's blocking the rest of her body, and you kind of can't read what's happening. So I would actually just change the staging.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna go with such extreme changes on poses, you might as well push it even more to have a better silhouette. Like she's gonna go through that much change. That could probably be worked on. Yeah.
And then I think also some of the changes are really abrupt when she's skipping. It's instant. I just think like a little bit of a bridge between the two extremes would help.
Right through this area.
So right in this area, she's skipping, she's happy. That's good. She kind of gets that instant thing, but right after she's mad, she goes right back to happy instantly. And I think that's a moment where she could either like shake it off or, come up with. She kind of shakes it off there. But it took a couple times to see that. I think that could have been more clear.
What I think is interesting is like you definitely could do these one frame things, but there needs to be some kind of like smearing motion. Like if she, or I guess we can look at the team later, but if this animator went through and added some sort of like even lines, sort of how they do like in Spider-Verse, where it's an external geo that could add a sort of blurring effect over top, the one frame things could be very effective. But I think because these moments are so smooth and so splined out that as soon as you have something that is the direct contrast, it's not working as successfully.
And it's demonstrated on the sword swing, right? You have the effect, the smear effect. Perhaps that could have been used in those post changes as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But the animation where the butterfly just picks her up, that's so well done. There's so much good motion on that.
Yeah, this moment here.
This is
Oh
Yeah,
no.
this one, but the one where the butterfly comes and
This guy.
saves her.
If I would be very,
That kicking right there is really good.
I even like the face she makes where she's mad about it and she's afraid. Oops, sorry. The one thing I forgot to download was a step-through program like a fool. But right here, when she lands, she has this moment of anger, and when she looks up, it's kind of this moment of sadness at the very end where you could tell that like it's fear. It's not just this anger. There's a different emotion there that I think is speaking to something deeper, and I think that's very, very cute.
And you can see her thought process there. It's very clear. It's that whole mantra of thought drives action, and it's so clear right there. She's like, "Hey, what got me? Damn it, it's that butterfly." And then she's pissed. So it's just a good little story.
I think one good thing or one positive thing that we're starting to discuss, mainly the notes that we're giving are about character, right? So already it's more than like a specific animation notes. So it's more like the characters being sold, the stories being told.
Yeah.
So that is like achieving that's already feeling really great.
I would say if I'm being very nitpicky, because that's what I tend to be, something I had instructors tell me in school is if you're going to have another character in the scene, even if they're not the focal point of your scene, they should still be as accurate as possible. So in this instance, the butterfly, I understand that it's there so you understand the butterfly, but a butterfly's wings, especially through this one, I look at that, I'm like, that's not quite how a butterfly flies. They're very sporadic, adding like noise to the root of that, like the world control the root of that butterfly as it flies to make it give that sort of crazy trajectory, I think could have plus to that butterfly feeling, because even though it's not our focal point, it should still be what it needs to be.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially on, I think, is the first bit, right? When the butterfly is flying by. If you just focus on the body of the butterfly, it feels like it's just following the trajectory, right? Like independent of the wings.
So well done.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we're being like
Yeah,
you said,
yeah.
we're
Hypercritical.
Hey, we
Yes,
do this
absolutely.
to each other. Like if
Yes.
we were working together, we'd do this to each other. That's
absolutely.
part of the job.
yes,
Yeah. No, wonderful. Awesome.
great.
Any final thoughts? Overall, like one sentence impressions.
Great first start.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, and for me, it's the moment when she sprouts wings after she dies and she's struggling to reach behind. Like that's my favorite bit when she's getting carried away.
Fantastic. Oh, and one thing that I meant to say, our team members here are Cesar Souza, I'm sorry if I mispronounce people's names, a gameplay animator and rigger for the last 6 years, Artur Kirschner, 2D and 3D animator, recently working in the games industry. So we have a team of a couple people here. Felipe Machado, 2 years of experience in animation, likes crazy combo attack animations and playing soccer with cars. And finally, we've got Wallison Costa, a game character artist for 9 years. So, dream team, AQ team, everybody, let's hear it. Woo. All right, up next, we've got Team Mr. 4. The description is the Duality Theme Competition, animated by Alan, Eric, Hugo, and Ji Yang. Ooh. Oh, 2 different angles. I like that. I wish I could see. Oh, there we go. They read my mind.
They got you covered.
Yeah. Oh man, tripling down. The sparks, that's a nice touch. Oh no. Oh. Man. All my power is gone.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow,
Great.
fantastic. Again, holy moly, Team 4.
Great.
Wow.
Well done.
Oh man, I love this idol. I think it's a very cute transition from one idol to another. And I was expecting, I mean, it wasn't what I was expecting. Usually you see like the candy and people are like, oh, now I'm hyper and I'm excited, but I wasn't expecting the full, sugar rage mode.
Yeah, they did a good job of getting the two dualities of her. That I think they pushed that about as much as they could with using the exact same model. They did it all with poses and some color shifts.
Yeah, and then definitely the poses, right? There's the very clear personalities before and after. She takes, she puts it in her mouth. The lollipop in her mouth those poses are strong.
Critique time for for me watching it for the very first time, I couldn't tell that the lollipop was the cause of it. It
Yep.
felt like it was just like, I'm gonna put this in my mouth because I need my hands to make fists. And
Yeah, I agree. It didn't seem like the lollipop was the cause of the transformation until the death animation.
Yeah.
That's what made it clear. But it should have been clear here at the beginning. Yeah.
Even though we do get 2 angles of this, I wish that this was shot from more of a 3/4 angle, just because, or even if you are going to use an angle like that, sorry, I'll try and skip ahead. Making sure that this is tilted in a way where we can see what is going on with this sign. The angle's really cool. I think we're getting a really nice shot of a great facial expression that's sort of determined and angry with the stick sticking out of the mouth. I think it's great, if a little locked in place. I know people had short amount of time, but I making things in games, especially things have to read from multiple angles all the time, and so making that have a little bit of tweak so we can see something there would have been a little bit better for me here.
Yeah, this is one where just actually some minor quick changes would have made this twice as good. And one is just angling that sign so you could read it. Switching the angle. I know this almost seems like an orthographic front view, but I would say even if you're doing a front view for something like a contest, go ahead and pose to the camera.
Yeah, I think on this cycle, I would have personally liked to see a little bit more of on the pelvis, a little bit side to side, and on the side view, a little bit, tad bit more of up and down motion. It feels a little bit too locked in place, but the pose and the attitude is there. You know, it's just that taking a little extra tweak on the up and down motion, left and right motion. If you notice, her arm feels very locked in place. The one that's outstretched, almost, it would have been good to see that sort of reflected throughout the body. Emanating from the pelvis.
I think that like the fact that we're hitting on like polishy level notes
Absolutely.
speaks so much to like
Yeah.
how much you get done
Yes,
in this 48 hours.
absolutely.
These are generally sometimes very common first notes when people submit for dailies and stuff. So this is great.
But the character's personality is absolutely there.
Oh, definitely. This attack for me, I think the biggest thing is it doesn't quite feel like the snippiness of the first two animations. When you're working with a bunch of people on one character, making sure that it all has a cohesive feeling across the board, I feel like there's different workflows at play here. Maybe it was a step to spline, and then I know that when I go step to spline, sometimes there's like a bit of a smudginess that gets like lost because the steps always like automatically feels so snappy. But then when you spline it out, it's like, oh, that actually feels so much slower than I expected it to. But with the attack motion, it doesn't quite have that same zip that I'm feeling with these first two animations.
Yeah, she's kind of not holding any of the poses she could be holding, and there's not a lot of contrast between rearing back and hitting. It's all pretty kind of steady spacing. So it's kind of hard to tell what is a rear back. Is she hitting at you with it or like flipping it around? And I think just kind of pushing your timing around and spacing on that would help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think the sippiness can also come from just adjusting a bit of the timing of the swings, right? The first two swings, if I was to like go like bam, bam, that feels a little even, bam, right? But if I offset a little like bam, 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 that would have been helpful to like spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, there's one of the tricks of the trade talks was talking about rhythm, and like if you can't necessarily naturally make a more diverse rhythm, you can make sounds like what would sound the coolest if you were listening to it? It'd be like bam, 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 and then even pulling that audio into your timeline and animating to your own voice doing silly things will help you find those beats when you can't find them yourself.
Having said that, I do like the concept behind the combo, though. Like, like backhanding it first to a dual swing to a flip coming down. Like the concept behind it is strong.
Oh, definitely. And I can definitely tell that this sign is like cumbersome for her. Like I definitely still feel the weight behind it versus it being like thrown around like it's a light thing. I know that's a weighty pole that she's ripped out of the ground, I guess. Yeah. I wish I saw that moment.
I know. Plus, I love the fact that the weapon itself reflects the lollipop. It's almost like a giant lollipop, right?
Oh,
yeah,
it's like
it does.
Right? Yeah. So.
Man, I didn't even catch that. It's so deep. All right. So let's hear a little bit more about this team if they have it. We've just got their names. We've got Zhiyang Pan. I'm sorry if I am mispronouncing. Hugo Yan, Eric Chen, and Alan Zhou.
Well done, guys.
Yes,
Thoughts? Yeah.
really, I mean, this is in 48 hours. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Oh, I keep opening it in this. Nobody likes that. Open with. All right. Entry number 3. This is Team Jibaro. This is a solo team, single member. This is a fairy that suffers the same condition of Bruce Banner, the Hulk. When she is scared, she turns into a monster. The The first animation is the attack, where she turns the enemy in stone. The second animation is the run cycle, when she's a fairy and when she's a monster. And the third animation is the scare idol. And the last animation is the death. Whoa!
Wow.
Holy moly. Oh, cool. Oh man, let's.
Wow. I have to say, I was not expecting such a bold transformation.
Yeah.
So that I could tell a lot of work went into that.
Yeah, this is one person in 48 hours. Oh, she's there's the turning to stone. Very cool. Very Medusa.
Right. Yeah, it looks like a cool physics sim was blasted at that creature.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could step through this. That's one thing I'm so sorry that I forgot. I think it's just like a hot swap, like model swap.
Right, which works. Like that's a case where you didn't have to have a lot of complex morph technology. It just that worked.
I wish that we saw that, like seeing them side by side is very cool, but because we have that cool transition in that first animation and the last, I wish that there was somehow a way to see that duality in the run cycle. I would love to see how this would be both, but it's still awesome to see both side by side.
Yeah, and again, I think this is just nitpicky, but when she does the transformation, it's just nice to see more of a thought process. Like, how is she reacting to this thing? And it kind of feels like she just the switch flipped back to her old idol versus her. How she react to that? Like, did I just do that to that bug, or so?
Yeah, wondering what is her relationship? Does she know that she's this monster? She appears scared, but it doesn't seem like she necessarily knows even what she's afraid of.
Yeah, and I'm getting a bit of a mixed message from the idol, where she's, like you guys mentioned, it almost feels like she's surprised as she turned into this creature. But then I see this really cool intensity in her run, which feels like, so I'm like, what is she scared? Is she, it's a little bit mixed, but I love the run. Like, I really like the intensity of the run and the expression on the face of the run. Like, that's probably one of my favorite parts of this. The whole thing that runs really cool.
Yeah, it's a really well done run, and likewise, it's like the flip side of that is the winged version of her. You almost want a different, like almost like head down tilt. Maybe your hands are in a more up pose, something more intimidating looking.
Yeah, it's almost like the intensity that's shown on the run. It's almost like I wish I had that infused that into the. I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to be just more like a glide, but yeah, it almost needs more of because they're side by side. You almost wish you had a bit of that intensity in there.
Oh my gosh! Somebody is pointing at. I can hit E to step forward. Thank you. Sorry. Something I think would have been fantastic is, again, just slightly more varied timing through those wing flaps. We see it's down, up, but if you are looking at a bird, if they had the even tones on both ends, or a bat, obviously, it would be if you did the same amount of time they went up, you'd be falling out of the sky. It's got to be a slow down and a quick up so that you can have your wings underneath you to support yourself again. And so even just having that varied timing of the slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast would give just a little bit more dynamicness.
Yeah, that's a good place to put that kind of rhythm, or that intense rhythm, like she's pushing those wings down, and then you can kind of get that secondary going through her arms, and that could affect the rest of her body and really give you a reason to get some intensity.
Yeah, the wings would definitely send like a shock through the whole body that would affect the whole body and would then drive the core, right? Because right now that's what's driving the force of the character, the wings, because this is what's keeping her up in the air.
Yeah, and you can see, on the run, we've got the motion through even like the tips of the ears. I think we have like a little bit of facial change. No, maybe not, but definitely the jiggle in the hair, and seeing that secondary motion helps sell the fact that these impacts are happening of her feet on the ground. Whereas with the monster version, we don't quite get that same intensity. Oh, now I've broken it. Don't step forward that many times, guys. One sec.
I love the character design, though. It's really cool.
Do we want to have any last thoughts for Team Jibaro?
I just want to say I'm so super impressed so far with all
Yes.
these. But this obviously there's cheaper ways to accomplish this stuff, and you guys went the extra mile to really sell the character. You did not have to totally have a winged beast, and you did, and that's great. That says a lot.
We didn't even talk about this death animation actually before we scoot forward, or scoot into the next. Oh, I've no more stepping through. I'm going to reset this one more time. Sorry.
What do you guys use to step through at your office?
Oh, Keyframe MP.
yeah, that's what we
Keyframe Pro.
Keyframe MP.
Keyframe MP. Yeah, it's awesome. Definitely recommend it.
If we go through here, I hope I can do this. That's all we got. But the transition is super smooth. Like the fact that I don't catch at all where that model swap is happening is just, I think it's very successful, low tech, awesome.
But nice triple spin death. That was good.
Yes,
Definitely.
gorgeous. Cool.
Yeah,
Well,
well done.
Very
well
good.
done. Thank you, Team Jibaro. Lennon Garcia, a game animator from Puerto Rico. And yeah, one person animated all that in 48
you know
hours.
what?
Yeah.
I forgot that was one person that did all that.
That is,
It-
yeah, that's pretty
Insane.
really
It's super
impressive.
Yeah.
Super.
Absolutely.
Okay, up next, another solo team. This is Team Eduardo Rubio, and it is a solo submission for the Teen Time Animation Jam 2. Oh, it's a buddy. I thought it was a bowling ball. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Come back.
Oh. Oh, so I think the character is blind, and maybe that's her eyes. Am I crazy for thinking that? It's casting light, and then it returns back to her, and then she seems to be kind of very, very lost without her little friend.
Yeah, if you watch her left hand, it reads that way. Her left hand's kind of wandering versus just hanging by her side.
Definitely some points for creativity. It builds this little story between the two characters. It makes you wonder about their relationship.
Yeah.
But it made me feel
Yeah, absolutely. That death was,
felt sad.
yeah.
I think another simple solution to this little character is that looks just like a couple spheres sort of parented together, and then big scale up on the smear frames through the attack. Very, very cute, very zippy. I wish I had a better silhouette. I didn't understand that was a friend right away, and it was like a cool reveal in a way that it was a friend. But I feel like if I got the first read as she had her hand on this thing, that was helping her in some way. I wish I had got that tail or something in the
Yeah,
idol.
the first read that I got out of it was that she was bowling.
Yeah,
That she was about to. She
I
was,
think it read as bowling.
yeah.
Even the two eyes and the nose just read as, my question was why are her fingers not in the ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Right. right.
Why is she palming a bowling ball?
Right.
That's the duality. She doesn't look like she's that just jacked, but she can just palm a bowling ball like it's no big deal.
But idle animations are that perfect moment to establish that stuff, and that's a good point to have them look at each other or have her sidekick move, so it's a free agent. And
Well, it is really subtle, and you can see that the hand is sort of being guided by it. Where now that I know that that's a living being, I can see that it's driving. I can feel that motion is coming from below.
Right.
But because it's so subtle and the character's so pulled out, but a nice thirds framing
but
here.
you know what, that idle break shows it. That's what I was kind of,
Oh,
it's there.
yeah. I love the light around the little guy too. That you can see that this is, especially when you throw it, you immediately see, okay, they're buddies. That's cute, whatever. But as soon as she has this moment with it, you can see that has something more to do with her than just a spotlight that's around her. It seems like it has more value because it leaves her space.
So speaking of the theme duality, I'm trying to read this. So the duality here is it takes two to be one, right? That's her eyes. So for me, it's creative because it's not one person that changes into something else. It's two things that need to work together.
And it's obviously devastating once one of them is gone, right? So I think as far as the theme of duality, I think it's pretty strong.
It really is because you see that thing died and how she needed that. I mean, truly, when I first saw it, I really felt this death really made me feel sad. The other deaths were cool deaths. They felt like video game deaths. This was like, no, come back.
If I'm, because I feel like I always feel compelled to critique in some way. I really like the walk. I don't know if she is actually blind. I will say that the feet seem to be stamping down. There's like a little bit of a toe slap that I'm feeling, like a little powerfully, where I think if you were walking at that pace, you would never actually pick your foot like up forward that much, which is like the most nitpicky little thing I can say about this 48 hours that one person submitted all this amazing work. But
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if I was to be a little bit nitpicky of just focusing on the idol, I would like to see a little bit more with the pelvis as well. Seems a little locked. And then when you do the idle break, maybe also change up a little bit of the weight shift and the pelvis to sell it more. Like she kind of, the legs and the pelvis kind of tend to stay within one area, and it would have been nice to see that in the idle break a little bit. Like she shifts her weight to look at the ball and then she goes back to it. Just having a little bit more of that. That could have just accentuated it. That the idle and the idle break.
especially because she does this big arm motion with her left hand, and it's very isolated to just that arm. Again, it's not really, we don't feel it through the rest of the body.
Right.
Yeah. So like areas to grow is body mechanics on this. So I would recommend this animator just continue working on the body mechanics of shifting weight, and when you hit a pose really harsh, you're going to get your overlap, and generally just taking video reference of yourself doing these motions is a great way to get the best reference.
Just one more piece of praise. This moment, the idle break, I think she is blind because the creature pushes into her and she doesn't look down at it right away. Whereas if I could see, I would probably be like, oh, hey, little buddy. But she feels it and then she like tilts towards it in a loving way, but not because she's like registering it with her other senses. It's so lovely. Yeah, cool. Fantastic work. Eduardo Rubio, amazing.
Well done, Eduardo.
All right, our next team is Team Asa. And a little bit about this entry is that my animations show two elves with differing personalities, but they still help each other out to the point that they can't exist without one another. Made by one Polish guy, smiley face. Oh, good. Target practice. Oh, no. Oh.
Oh, those targets fought back.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh, man.
So this is good. The initial thing, first impression is on this first setup is it's great. The animation's great, and I think we could have pushed maybe some character contrast between the two. But then as you get through the animations, you realize how they are the dynamic duo kind of. I'm the ball hitter or whatever.
Yeah, definitely strong poses on the idols. The two idols idol poses are strong. I like them.
So one thing I would say is you have these moments in this idol. I think it's super strong, like especially if it's like a still frame, especially like this frame, you can see it's like very, very strong, rigid personality, and the other one obviously has that sassy, like, I don't even care. Yeah. This is that person's the person who'd be like eating an apple and talking to somebody while walking in a hallway in a movie. And this person is the person who's like, we just need to get work done, Carl. But these moments where they have their sort of defining beat that's like, happen at the same time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if you like looking at it, it feels like they're both moving a lot, and the actions are both good actions, but because they happen at the same moment, my eye is like, oh, I don't know which one to look at, so I don't fully get each personality until I'm like, oh, there they both are in a still.
Yeah, and I see the the more rigid one has that little head shake and reacting to her being so playful and not serious. It almost happens too soon, right? Like before she even like calls away the little thing that she created, she's already like nodding her head. Maybe like a little bit more separation between
Yeah.
beats would have helped.
I think giving these antics room to breathe would have helped this be so readable.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's all there.
yeah. It's all
just-
there.
Just shift it around.
Shift it around a bit. Yeah.
I just realized on this run, you can feel the inseparable because she's the one with the sword. But she's the one who hovers the sword for her to be just carried around, which is very silly and very entertaining. I wish the framing were a little bit better so we could see the sword in full here, but oh, there we go. So what do we think about this attack?
So it's creative, but if I was to, put together the attitudes that were displayed on the run and on the idol, it almost feels like now they're on the same page, like they're almost being equally silly a bit. So, like it would have been cool to see that, tossing the eggs, and she's more rigidly just like hitting the eggs, perhaps. But then again, we only have 48 hours to do this. So.
Yeah, I feel like it was a correct choice for a 48-hour contest.
Yes.
But
Yes, absolutely.
to do right, yeah, you kind of want the backhand hit and the cool hit, and she's cool. She knows how to use a sword.
Yeah.
One thing that's like, that sword is definitely in her hand the whole time it's spinning, but when I watch it, it almost seems like it's not attached to her body anymore. And I think it's very interesting that the centrifugal force is coming from like the hilt of that blade.
But if we're talking about things that sometimes you just have to get an animation out like this real fast.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you call your friendly effects helper, and you're like, just put some blurry stuff around me or something.
Yeah. Because my suggestion would have been like, let's say you don't have time and you need to pull this off, and you want to do the spin. I think it still could have been achieved with a different pose, right? Like a more heroic type pose, and you could still get across her personality through a single pose.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is more like I feel like this pose is a little bit more in line with her sister or her friend. Like more of the.
And the more I watch it, I feel like the sword is actually spinning on its own axis, and she's like along for the ride.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was intentional, but just the kind of the pivot of that whole thing.
Something else that could have sold that sort of more stern character is even just how you get, if this is the motion that you want to happen, the way that she gets into the motion, she could have had like one moment where she hits that really heroic pose before jumping into it, where again, it is 48 hours,
Yes.
but she's kind of blending into that motion rather than having that character pose that she could launch into that animation from.
But overall, this does show the teamwork
Yeah, absolutely.
between the two.
And I do like, having said that, I do like the final pose where she's finished spinning and just slams the sword back into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the character definitely reads at the end. Yeah. I like the death because it's like they can't do anything without one another, and the idea that she can't survive even if she were like to see that arrow. She needed her buddy to be like, "There's an arrow that's gonna hit you." So the second her bud's down, she can't even look around to see if she's gonna get shot with an arrow now.
And my note on this is the same in the beginning: is if you just give some time to breathe for your poses and their actions, then it's gonna be more readable. So when she gets down to her knees, sad, she gets shot so fast, you don't have a good opportunity to kind of read her sadness. It's like a 1-2 hit, and I think just adding a beat between those two would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, fantastic work. Do we have any more information about our team entry? Bartosz Bilinski. I don't think that I can say that correctly, but at Asa the uncle on Twitter. Fantastic work. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
right, our next animation. This is Team Raps Gang. Description: Grandpa's Great Adventure. And that's all we got. Let's check it out. This is.
Already smiling. At
Oh
this.
yes.
Please play. There you go. All right, and this is a team.
Oh, that's now.
It's quite an item. All right, amazing.
Nice.
I'm gonna turn the audio down a little. We can scope this out.
Entertainment value is really up on this one.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yes. Okay, so that's the idol, and then this is the.
That's the movement, I believe.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, would have been nice to see moving through the background.
Yeah.
Uh,
The attack, right? Okay.
I like that face change, the sassy face at the end. Oh my goodness. I think for again nitpicky notes, the gramophone in the background. Is that a gramophone? Yeah, it's the Grammys.
So yeah.
The whole thing's bumping. If you could have just got just the speaker bumping from that thing,
Oh.
that would have been like a nice little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta say the overall though the timing. We were discussing the previous one how like giving enough time for things to read.
Mhm.
I feel like this piece, and all the different ones show at least a good sense of overall timing and pacing and spacing of all the beats and the poses. So that part is strong.
Absolutely. They got the good comedic timing.
Yeah. And that attack is pretty creative, I gotta say. That's pretty cool.
I like that the face is animated throughout the whole thing. I think, especially because there are multiple people animating it. When you're having it animated a little bit and you have it in a pose that's kind of dead, even if he's doing all these motions, I like that here there's a subtle face motion happening while he's moving. Like the eyes are kind of squinting, and so rather than having that pose and you've animated the face but it's dead, like having that little bit of like a squint while something's happening, like a slight moving hold on the face throughout, I think is really valuable for small touches. Oops.
Yeah, I feel like the one where he's moving and he's floating feels the most polished because everything is moving and alive. And his first dance, he got the timing right. He's got the great concept. I think to spend more time on just the body mechanics and.
That would be so gross.
Yeah, I definitely got to say that there's some of the other pieces I feel have been more polished animation wise, but definitely pose wise, this one is pretty solid. And timing and posing is pretty solid. But definitely some of the other ones have a little bit more animation polish, but this is at least the most consistent or one of the most consistent throughout, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I love that again we have the story. It's like,
Yes.
okay,
Mhm.
he's a grandpa, but he's obviously a rocker and he's rocking into his grave. Like,
Yes.
that's just that's what his life is about.
Yeah.
This is his big adventure. We're seeing it here.
His death is like an emote death. It's like one last emote before I.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go out, I want to go out that way. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
On something like the flying walking animation here, I feel like there could have been a little bit more like change in the way that the feet go. They're staying very rigid, and I feel like it feels nice because you get that buoyancy to what he's doing, but we're not getting like having a little bit of drift through the feet would be good through there.
That also comes across the arms, having like a little bit of like up and down. It feels like they're kind of locked in one plane,
Mhm.
right? And you can see a little bit in the fingers and the wrist, but a little bit of up and down on the arm,
Mhm.
going across left and right, like how the chest is affecting a little bit of the shoulder joints would have been good.
Yeah. Or even like a little bit of
Yeah.
like a twisting.
Yeah, like maybe like a little figure eight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, fantastic.
Overall, very strong.
And so this is Raps Gang, and these are students from AAU Shushang Chen Ambaraja Balamurigan, Ryan Hamer, and Laxmi Prasanna Dendukari. So, Raps Gang, let's hear it. Thank you. All right. We're getting close to the end here. This is Team Spline Time, but I believe that 2 people submitted under the team name Team Spline Time. So I will say up front that this is Thomas Castle, Matt Leitz, and Adam Kania. Kania. Oh, hi.
All right. This is going to be awkward. We have.
I know, definitely. No one told us that they were
I
going to
won't
be
look
here.
at you when I.
So the Spline Time team submission composed of Thomas Castle, Matthew Leeds, Adam Kania? Yeah, Kania. Rig used, it's Kyle Figgins, Keel Figgins, bad biker rig found, and they give us a link. That's so nice. It is Kyle Figgins. Kyle Figgins. Let's check it out. Team Spline Time. Seeing the duality already.
It's going to be range weapon or melee.
Ooh. Somebody thinks they're a badass.
I don't want to mess around with this guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whew. Going out fighting. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear it. I really like this idol. I think I like the posing between, like, I love how the silhouette reads right away with the blade coming in front and the gun going back. Those 2 beautiful sort of contrapposto angles through both of the blades, and the angle of the head and the facial expression. I think this is really, really lovely.
It shows that sometimes less is more. Like just defining such a strong pose and attitude and that look on his face, that's all you need for the idol. He didn't have to do a lot of complicated shifts and movements.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good start. Good start.
Oh, the idol breaker. I didn't read that before.
Yeah, this is good. The idol breaker, I think, is a little unclear for me whether he's stabbing at someone or pointing at them, and it seems to be like right in the middle. And the shooting's very clear. So I feel like just that beginning part is like, are you threatening like with what you're gonna do with the gun?
Yeah. I thought the
that's
same
nice.
thing. I actually thought this was the attack. I didn't read it. And then I saw the attack, and I was like, oh, wait, what was that last thing then? I feel better knowing that it isn't the attack, but I agree because it's sort of ambiguous in that motion. I think the gun, though, feels actually great with those. There's a little pop-up first, and then
And when he settles back into his idol, that's good. There's some time spent just getting that nice, getting that gun back on the shoulder. And just, there's so much facial motion that you really notice when you don't have it. So there's a moment here where his eyes go a little dead when he's shooting the gun.
I agree. That's what I was trying to talk about. I was way more eloquent than I ever will be.
Well, I've never been told that. And I kind of have nothing to say on this one. It's just good. No, I'm sure I can nitpick something. This is really good.
Yeah.
The attack.
Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. I wish there was a little bit more ump on the sword swing, just a little bit more. But maybe even just hanging a little bit on before he brings the gun across. Maybe just like hold the pose just a little bit longer to see like where the strike ended up. But yeah, overall, like the idea is strong. The idea is strong.
It took me a while to realize. I thought the feet were slipping just because of the nature of it, but he's actually like stepping back, and it's this idea of moving forward and back in space. But they've kept the world control where it is, so that's an interesting consideration to like how you would actually be animating it if you were going to put it in the game, which is cool.
I appreciate that the second time he brings the gun up to fire, it's a little more chaotic. It's just kind of, at this point, he's just,
He's just,
again,
he's just
yeah,
whipping
his
it across.
style.
Yeah, I like the attitude of that. That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that we have that little, I don't know if it's like just scaling the blade or if there's actually a little smear added through there. But through the front angle, I feel like I lose the blade just a little bit. It's nice that it's so bright in contrast to him. But again, if we angle that blade or have a smear, so when you see it from that angle, it doesn't disappear quite so much. Cool.
So I feel like the pose is good on this because it matches the idol. But I feel like all the other animations had so much heft and weight to them that I feel like the run could definitely have a lot more oomph to the up and down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Especially like through the shoulders. You have those massive shoulders. He's carrying that gun. Getting it like a little bit more noise throughout the rest of the body would be great for this kind of this model and this build.
Yeah, if we had a little bit more of like just a tad of like secondary motion up here,
Mhm.
with the so you can see the gun kind of like moving up and down across the shoulders to add more of that ump. I think it would have been just a little touch.
I think it's a matter of pushing it because, like, if you look at his sword arm, it's there. The swing is there. I would try just pushing that the range of that swing more. And there is some motion on the shoulder, but I think this is just a case where just push it more.
And I'm going to be super nitpicky, and you guys could be angry at me if you guys want. But this is something that, especially with Kratos, like the direction of the blades right now in this run is actually, I feel like should be facing the other way, pointing down.
Like
The way you're gripping it, like the blade should be, the cutting edge should be pointing down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super nitpicky. So sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, you can see
Because
right.
because if you go to the idol, then
Even if you go to the next animation, or it was the idol, you can see that the short ends down, and here the short ends up.
yeah. So yeah, the serrated edge is pointing down, and all the other anims, and it's pointing up here.
Yeah.
Such a small thing, but yeah, it's, like I said, you guys can hate me. Super nitpicky.
I like that last shot. He's like this tough dude. He's not going out without a fight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, like his attitude and personality comes through even in his death. He looks like he has to. It takes a lot to kill this guy.
Well, I like the fact that he's like blocking, right? He's blocking bullets with a blade
Oh, yeah.
until he gets shot out of his hand. So yeah, he's not going down without a fight.
I almost wish I could see a little bit more of what's hitting him, and I know that's not
Yeah.
ultimately that important, but just seeing there's something coming in, like the yellow,
Mm-hmm.
having like a slightly larger smear, so we see where it's impacting. I feel like just makes it sing that we see it ricochet off the blade, or we see it hit him in the face, or whatever it is. Might be.
Because it has a little bit that motion. Like if the idea is that the blade's getting shot out of his hand and he's like blocking it, I think it's a really strong idea.
Mhm.
But then once it gets shot, the arm motion almost makes it feel like he's halfway throwing it away
Mhm.
and halfway getting a shot out. So I think if just working on the timing on how the arm gets flung back, like from the impact of the bullet, would help. But
Yeah.
the idea is strong. I love the idea of him like blocking it and take a shot of his hand.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
It's
Well done.
It's
But
fun. Yeah. It's a
They
fun
kept his
piece.
personality consistent through
Yeah.
the animations.
That's
Well
cool.
done.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's
Yes.
let's hear it.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. We have now another solo submission, Team Joe Toole. I wanted to do something a bit weird with this one. I thought about the theme and how I could have a two character set of animations without completely blowing out the amount of time I spent on it. And I found the Weird Rigs pack. So much good stuff in there. The rigs had a few limitations, like the bird had no IK legs. Spoilers, there's a bird. And the main character's arms are stuck in chest space, but they look so different and stand out. So this was done by Joe Toole. And let's check it out. Oh.
I love this. No,
Oh,
no.
it's the opposite of the one. That bird doesn't care.
Yeah, that bird's like, I'm out of here.
I'm free.
That guy kind of stunk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting any more food from this guy. I'm out of here.
Man, this idol is so fantastic. This character already is so, weird rigs pack maybe, but the sort of it feels like he's balanced, but it doesn't feel twinned in any way.
Yeah, there's some odd appeal to this thing. Like
Mhm.
you could print this on a T-shirt and it'd work.
Yeah.
Like,
I like the idea that neither of them are ever quite looking at anything.
Right.
But like they think they're looking at something, but for me, I'm like, what are you focused on?
I really like the little slight weight shift that he does right there.
mhm.
I think it's really, really nice touch.
Yeah, and this has the good timing. Like
Yeah.
just when it might be getting too long in a
Yep.
pose, it goes. And
Yep.
it's great.
I like after he does this look. I like how the bird sort of like overlaps or follows through at the end. And when he looks back, the bird is almost anticipating this motion because he's looking down at him and ready for this treat. Where at the beginning they're both kind of staring out. So even though it sort of returns to that first position, you can tell that something slightly different is about to happen. And not returning to that same place twice, I think, keeps this very visually interesting.
So there's just nice subtle stuff. The way the bird reacts when he turns his head, just a slight shift in the bird, and
It's like his head is too heavy, and it's just like, all right. Yeah, it's a strong idol and a strong idol break. It's really, really good.
I like his run pose. It kind of reminds me of like the bowler hat man and Robinson, Meet the Robinsons. Right?
Yeah.
But I just like the big arch, just these legs just striking out.
Yeah. Has a nice like up and down bobbing motion, and I could imagine if I was playing this in a game or something, like it'd be like a really nice contrast between like the idle and then take off running and then stop and then go straight up again. It's like a nice contrast. I'm imagining some nice contrast between those two.
And super nitpicky here is just the whole silhouette of him. His left arm's getting lost, and just a slight camera shift could have showed that more.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I love the bird cycle has a little glide in the middle where I was about to like watch it and be like, remember that butterfly? Same thing. But it's not. And even though it's not realistic because the model is not realistic, it really lends to that. But that little glide, just that visual interest, slight differences, the way the feet drag, really lovely.
And even when it does the glide, it has a little head tilt. So it's like going back to the idol where the head was kind of tilting unevenly. So like, it's cool. It's a cool little tweak that he has.
I like that this attack, I see why the bird doesn't care because the bird doesn't seem like
Yeah.
totally willingly a part of this attack.
Right.
He was kind of chest first, like, oh my God. He's like, no, but you feed me.
And
Sorry.
if I was to be a little bit nitpicky on the attack, I almost wish that he would sort of anticipate and then take the step and plant the foot first before then pushing the arm through, because it feels like leg and arm are coming together. So you know, it makes it feel a little bit off balance, and maybe even kick the pelvis over the left leg a bit once he releases it, just to have like a stronger pose on it. I mean, a stronger like sort of feel that he's like stepping in then pushing the bird forward.
Yeah, like using the body as a whip on that arm.
Yeah,
getting that throw.
stepping in and boom, letting it out.
Yeah.
And one more nitpicky is almost just a few frames more of that bird being off screen. It feels like it comes back too soon with the trajectory of it coming out. I can't quite visualize how it gets back that fast.
Perhaps you could have stuck that pose a little longer. Boom, like, and then bird comes back in.
Yeah. And I will say his foot and his knee are on his screen right foot and knee have different minds of their own in this.
Yeah, you see on the left foot the where the knee and the toe are pointing.
Mhm.
Yeah, they should probably be lined up.
Yeah. And that's like a nice opportunity where if you wanted to have that foot shift, like taking that small step, and that enables you like when you're getting back into your idle rather than this sort of like out and then return to the same position, you can do a micro step that just sort of adds that visual interest and adds a little bit more time to fit that character settling down in on your way back.
Yeah, micro steps, that's a very common note that's given, is look for opportunities to not just plant the feet when a character does something, just slightly shifting those feet and getting a shift adds so much life.
Yeah.
It's minimal work as an animator to get that stuff in.
And then this death, I really love, but I wish the bird had like. I love that it pieces out, but like one more little moment of hang time, even like dipping down a little bit further because it's been surprised that this guy is dying out from underneath them.
Yeah.
Like that little moment of it almost becomes slightly more impactful when it pieces out because it's like, oh, my butt is just kidding. I don't care.
Yeah, if you like kind of look down with that like
Yeah.
side head tilt, like, I'm out. I'm out.
But then 48 hours. So
48 hours. Incredible. 48 hours and
Oh, yeah.
this is a solo animator again, Joe Toole.
Yeah, very nice. The poses
nice.
during the death are great.
Yeah.
very
Fantastic.
good. Overall, very good. Very good.
Super well done.
All right, we are down to our final two entries. This is Team Gomo. A boy wanders through his daily life, all the while fighting to make good choices that will help him carry on another day. And it is a stop motion animation by Nia Zaini, Claudia Cardia, Sammy Kay, and Carrie Chilton.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
48. Okay.
Oh, is that this?
Oh.
Hold on. There's audio. So we're going to.
Decide?
Wait. Here's that.
Oh, there
Oh,
we go.
I should have. No, I'll take it back. Decision. I wouldn't have made that choice. That's a nice cover of the transition. I assume they animated them at different times. Oh my goodness. Emotional health
Wow.
bad.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Wow. There's like some genius stuff here. They like tied.
Sorry, I'll turn that right off.
I mean, they took like what may seem like an arbitrary list of an idol and a death and an attack, and they put it into a narrative.
Mhm.
Which is great.
I think this is one of those moments where they obviously want it to be this game, this interactive moment, and like I was mentioning earlier, like if you have extra pieces, you want to make sure that it's just good. I think the UI that they made for it's not an animation note, but like the beautiful presentation, emotional health good. You can see sort of what's going on. Oh, this is dark. What's happening here?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh goodness
The
gracious.
presentation is definitely pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of muttered it while we were watching it, but I love that, you know, they probably animated these at different times and maybe had to change the set. So you have somebody made the loop for the walk cycle here, and then you have the bus covering the transition between these two animations. It's awesome.
It's good staging for the rest of it.
Man, the more I look at it and the more I'm like reading the different parts of this UI, this is like a very, like the duality of like depression. This is like a very deep thing. Like you have, this is your arm with marks on it, and you have 5 razor blades on hand, and like your shadow is growing. That's dark as heck, but like not necessarily in a way where I'm like, don't, but like very like interesting that you would dive into such like a heavy topic for this 48 hours. Like what a heavy 48 hours you must have had.
So you win the game by staying in bed. That's that's the moral of the story. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so is that so I see that that's the death, but I was trying to look for the attack. Is that I guess the attack is the shadow coming out,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because so I see.
Hmm?
Oh, the hood is
Oh.
to like to block the shadow,
Yeah.
basically.
The,
Putting up the shields.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, on originality, like this is through the roof on how to
Thank-
take what others took and what others did, and this
Mhm.
is done with such a different perspective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. For
great.
sure.
Oh, I am not a stop motion professional in any way, but because I want to, I will try and give animation notes through this run with like the posing. I have some idea of what it takes to get a character in the air. I know if we can step through it, like these poses are super, super good, but when you start getting through this pose here, oh, sorry, I'm gonna break this thing again if I do this too much. There's a pose where like this is great, and then his body's sort of moving forward, and it moves forward as a whole, but then it moves back again, and then it moves forward again. So if like you're looking at your onion skinning, and you can see like what as soon as you have the main chunk of that body kind of wiggling back and forth, these poses are super strong. You see his hands, he's kind of got this personality to how he's gonna run, but making sure that if you have a frame where the most of the mass is moving backwards, it is going to look a little bit stroby.
Yep, definitely see that.
There's so much thought put into this. It's very
Yeah.
challenging to critique.
Yeah. I would say if I look at the attack, which is like putting up the hoodie, so I wasn't too clear on like I could read him putting up the hoodie, but then after I guess he's putting it back down. But it happened a bit too fast for it to read. So I mean that would be like a little nitpicky comment. I don't know if it would have been clearer to like pull the hood and like hold it in place until the attack is done, and then he, because I wasn't sure what that hand gesture was meant to be, whether he's like, saying "I got you" or like "see you later" or something. So that's the only part that I wasn't too clear on what happened. So, like, but if the attack is sort of like meant to like protect himself, and then the danger is gone, and he puts it back down, maybe that would have been a little strong. It would have read a little clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, but fantastic.
Yeah, it's so creative, and yeah.
Wow.
You got the duality in, the shadow interacting with him, and also the duality in the making the choices, right? You have to make a choice, so that's
Yeah.
the theme is there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow. Team Gomo, everybody.
Yes.
Holy moly. And finally, our last submission, we've got Team Schwad. The description is the duality of a pumpkin, a cute creature, but evil on the inside, utilizing both reckless melee and coordinated pumpkin magic. There's a lot exclamation points. And this is another solo entry, Jordan Crownshaw at Jord Animating on the internet.
It's a cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the character's so appealing. I love it.
Ooh.
Oh.
That is an interesting tie-in.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I like that he puts that little pumpkin on the blade because it makes it seem like, oh, I get the magic's coming because he put the pumpkin on the blade. But then as soon as you get into the death, the blade goes into the pumpkin and the big one appears again. So that's like very well tied together.
Yeah. Do you guys, what would you guys say the duality part is here?
That's my question. Is the duality is not clear, but I feel like I could kind of interpret it as it's a pumpkin with a tiny pumpkin.
Right,
But it's
Yeah, and I mean, just from the description, he mentioned that he uses a melee attack and uses magic. I definitely get more. He's got the blade, but I definitely feel more magic than melee.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe if you did like a slice with the blade first and then put the pumpkin on it, and then we did pumpkin magic, then we'd feel both. But
you know, we were talking about silhouettes and other ones. I think the idol is very strong. They did a good job of making everything clear.
Yep.
And a lot of things we do, you know, in Maya, you could hit what F key is it that turns on the silhouette mode?
7.
It's F7.
F7.
And that's just you could tell like if you did that, you would get that kind of silhouette.
Yeah, especially with the leaf, and it's like a gorgeously appealing model. And I love the slight motion through the face in the idol. I think that helps add to it, so that feeling of life so much.
Yeah, I definitely think number one, the proportions give it like really nice appeal. The posing feels confident, feels strong, feels like he knows what he's doing. So all that is communicated through a very simple character, which is really strong. And like you said, if you were to hit the silhouette, it would be real strong. The only part that I felt that wasn't as clear as it could have been is the moment that he throws the pumpkin into the sword. Like if there would have been a beat of like whoosh, and then you see it, you read it, and then he does the gesture. It's just a little bit longer. It's like boom, and then bam. Then that would have been a little stronger because it took me a couple of times to notice that that he flung it onto the tip.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like he has that moment there where it does come out a little bit further, but if he held that back to get exactly that noise you just made, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like on the run, for some reason, like if I were to like put my thumb over where his feet are, I would expect to see his feet almost moving like twice that fast. Like they're so short, like faster coverage, to where almost it's just like a motion blur of feet.
I don't know.
Do you all agree? I feel like the feet could have a faster cadence.
Yeah.
But it could be,
Yeah, like with the amount of up and down and bobbing that he has on the upper body, I
yeah.
would expect the feet to have completed an extra cycle in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I agree.
But he has so much character. I love this. I want to play this video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love that stern little face. I love the change in the face from even the idol to the run, where it's the same thing like with that duality with the monster transition before, where she's got this facial, or he's got the facial expression, and then a slightly different one in the run. But these are more tied together, where he's malicious and then he's intent and malicious.
Yeah.
And that subtle difference is nice to see.
Even the just a subtle thing like the angle at which the little stem is pointing in his head, that gives personality. Like it feels like it's pointing forward, it's pointing towards the front of the character. It's almost like yes, bring it. Everything is facing forward, and then the leaf is a nice little secondary motion that he has back there. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very appealing.
This is well done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very, very well done.
Wow, these are all great entries.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Really, really great entries.
Holy moly. Okay. So,
And we have to choose one.
no, we get to choose a top 3.
Okay.
However, whoever's watching in Twitch chat, there's also going to be a Twitch chat favorite, which we will start polling later. I don't have Twitch chat open, but our moderator's over there. So I don't know the best way to say it. If you just type in, I guess, which one you like the best, if it is Caesar, how would we call this one? You want like a quick recap? Butterfly.
Butterfly.
Okay, so butterfly or lollipop.
Lollipop. Okay.
Okay, or transformation.
Transformation. That works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Blind Girl.
Blind girl. Yeah.
Blind girl. Okay. Or bowling ball. either
Bowling
one.
ball. We've got
Twins.
our twins. Yeah.
Twins.
Grandpa.
Oh.
Boom and Grandpa.
Don't mess with me.
Birdman.
Birdman. Birdman for sure.
Man. Yeah.
There he is.
Man.
We'll say stop mo.
Mm-hmm.
Stop mo.
Oh, and finally pumpkin.
Mhm.
So good luck, moderators. Thank you so much. And now, so we three are going to deliberate, and we are going to figure out what we think our top 3 are. And then in the meantime, we do have, I need my other notes, I'm sorry. we do have, we're going to have our Twitch chat favorite, we're going to have judges pick, and we also have a special prize that, if he's ready, Richard Arroyo is going to talk about that right now while we deliberate. Yeah. Come on up. Everybody, let's hear it. for
Yes,
Richard
let's
Arroyo.
hear it.
I don't know yet.
Okay, you can deliberate. We're going to deliberate. You tell us what you're going to do, though. And who you are. And
Oh yeah, I guess I could talk to the public, right? Cool. Is there a camera here that I'm supposed to look
right
at?
there.
Where's there? Oh, that one. Oh,
We're gonna
hello.
deliberate.
Hello, world. How you guys doing? All right, cool. I feel like I should get comfortable, but I won't. All right, so for those who don't know me, my name is Richard Arroyo. I'm head of games at iAnimate. I'm also the senior art animation director at Ubisoft. And what we're doing here today at Twitch is amazing, right? Like the things that, I want to first congratulate Mike for doing, and Lana for doing such a great job in, reaching out to the community. And that is something that's really important to me. And the type of message that we are doing here is sharing knowledge, helping each other, promoting each other, and really just reaching out in a way which hasn't been done before. So one thing that is really important for myself and iAnimate is to be a voice and to be able to provide something that is hard for many artists, is training for those who are overseas or looking to get support. We try to do our best to give that support, and it's a very personal thing for me, iAnimate, because of the type of background I came from and where I came from. We did not have the same kind of opportunities, and I wanted to, in some way, fashion, is kind of just to give back to the community and support that. And this is great what you guys are doing here. So my message is, before we pick a winner, is learning is key, right? We should always continue to learn, and it doesn't matter if you just started or if you've been doing this 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or even 30 years. Like, even for myself, doing this for a long time, I still look to better myself, and I still look to reach out to other people that I trust and that care about my growth. And I think that is what you guys are doing here is amazing. And I think the team here deserves a huge round of applause for that. So let's first congratulate everyone here. Okay, everyone's like blushing. Oh my God, I love this. No, but so with that being said, there's something that a lot of people are not always aware of, is that there are certain studios, there's some great studios out there that help their employees get better, and they help with getting training. And iAnimate, and even myself, we can also help with that. Like, if you're at your studios and they're willing to give you training, you can reach out to us, and we can provide any kind of information to your studios to help with that. So I know some major studios that we had a lot of great animators that come to us. Doesn't matter if they're Warner Brothers, Ubisoft. We have animators from Ubisoft, and different studios, even IDOS. These companies do care about, they want to help those who are really interested in investing in their career. So some of your studios might be willing to help with that tuition. So if you ask, you can ask them, and they'll most likely hit me, or you can also hit me up at rick@iAnimate. Any kind of information that we can provide to help you, by all means, I would gladly help. I think I'm forgetting something, but that's okay. So during competition, duality, and that was a tough one. I don't know who picked it. Was that you? Somebody. But that was great. And wow, what a tough pick. it was hard. So when I think about, you know, the animations, and I think about the performance, the personality, the clarity, the three eyes, you know, the intention, identity, and intensity of what you're trying to deliver, the story, obviously there's the weight, there's making the character memorable and, you know, relatable and believable, and all these type of things. And the timing, I think I said timing, but it's important, right? And so some of these animations done in such a quick, in 2 days, right, 48 hours, is really impressive. So everyone who tried that was the main prize, that you went out to do that, and I think that's amazing. So everyone that did submit their work, congratulations to you. I congratulate you. It was amazing. There's only one prize, you know, but what is the prize? Oh yes, I should say what the prize is, right? The prize is, you know, when I built Animate Games, obviously I love games, right? And that's why we built that, is to win a workshop in the games program. And, you know, all you have to do once we announce the winner, contact me and I'll take care of everything. And that's your prize. You'll get a free workshop, 11 weeks with the mentor of your choice. I know you're like, what? Mind blown. And yeah, and I also will be, you know, I would like to review your reel, and I will give you personal feedback, some quick coaching, and look at your resume and tell you what you need to do to get to that next level. And I will be honest, right? Yeah, why you're like, have you heard the stories? I have? Was I nice? All right, then. See, true story. I was very honest, so I will be honest. Did it help? Yeah, good. I'm breaking a sweat now, like, cause now someone knows the truth, right? So it's hard. It's really, really hard.
So, we three judges have deliberated our top three.
Okay.
So you have time to ponder if you want more time to ponder.
I don't know. I think I'm ready.
You think you're ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, so let's do this in escalating order. First, we will announce judges' picks.
Okay.
Our judges, we picked the top three that we thought from this incredible pool of contestants.
No pressure.
No pressure. And each contestant is going to go home with some incredible amount of swag. I'm sure that we will probably rant through some of it, but like, the camera's so far away. We have signed posters, signed boxes, signed art books, backpacks. It's an incredible amount of stuff.
Yes. Thank you to all the studios. Right?
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you to everyone. Yes, absolutely.
And then we will cap off our evening with Rick's pick. Okay, so.
Can I just say, before you announce any, I just want to say these 10 entries were all amazing. I can't believe that people did this in 48 hours. It's, yes, it's definitely, you know, hats off to everyone that participated, and very, very hard decision to make. Definitely was very tough. So, yep.
Absolutely, fantastic. Let's hear it for all of the contestants. Yeah. And can we hear it one more time for Tea Time Animation, our team who went through all of the entries and pared it down to these so we can scope it out and have this time together. Thank you so much, Tea Time. All right. Are we going to do this?
We're gonna do this.
So number three.
Number three.
Number three.
Number three, Blind Girl.
That is Eduardo Rubio. Number two is...
Number two goes to Birdman.
Joe Toole, Joe Animation. And our number one pick is... Drum roll, please.
Butterfly Girl.
Butterfly Girl. Congratulations to AQ Team, Cesar Souza, Arthur Kirschner, Felipe Mikado, and Wallison, I'm so sorry, Wallison Costa. Incredible, incredible work. Let's pull it up here one more time so we can all admire it. Butterfly Girl, gorgeous work. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right, Rick. Oh, Twitch chat. I totally forgot about Twitch chat. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. You hold this.
Please join us.
Yes. So, oh, I gotta have to get up again.
Oh, she's coming back.
And we have Twitch's pick. Everybody, drum roll, please, one more time. And by one more, maybe we'll do another. Twitch chat has chosen Blind Girl. That's the viewer's favorite. Congratulations. And now, we've had plenty of opportunity to soak all these beautiful animations in. We need to know, what is Rick's pick?
Man, I'm breaking a sweat here.
No pressure, Rick.
I don't know if this still works. Okay, it does. It does. All right. Man, this is so tough. I have to say that. Do you feel the pressure? Is it just me? Or like, oh no, here we go. Okay, I got like 3 seconds, right? All right, 3, 2, 1. Man, the Blind Girl was amazing. Congratulations to the Blind Girl.
Thank you.
I know, it was hard.
And thank you to the incredible judges, Jay Hosfeld, Bruno Velasquez. I'm Lana Bashinsky. Bringing it over. Oh, we're going to stay here. This is Mike.